y'all ain't finished. Y'all ain't finished. Make you come ready to go this next week.
How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Tillman and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, your number one source for all your Chiefs news and analysis. I am joined by Mr. Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire, and my partner in this maddening crime that we call Chiefs Blitz with Bowtie Sports. What's up, Hense?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. A little sleep deprived, but hey, the bye week is over. We got the 49ers coming up on Sunday. Chiefs are a dog in this game already. I find that shocking. Anyway, before we get started on the show, let's bring in our sponsors, the people that help us run the show in the back end and make sure that we take good care of our sponsors here at ChiefsBlitz.com. And Amanda will take care of you when it comes to buying or selling a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area. Is Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. Give him a call at 816-729-3785. If you're thinking about buying a house, thinking about selling a house, maybe you just want to see what the current market conditions are, or you just want to browse on his website. He's got a lot of listings available to you all over Kansas City. So give him a call, 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor, Chief Who?
That is correct. Another proud sponsor is my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan. If you're looking for custom health insurance, in other words, a plan that fits your budget, fits your needs when it comes to what kind of coverage you want, and also one that offers access to a nationwide PPO network. There's nobody better that understands the health insurance industry than my wife, Emily. Call her today at 913-215-9086.
And he loves Emily.
I do. And another company we love is our new sponsor, Roll Tape, Hense.
Save big on the hottest electronics. At Resell Electronics, we offer the best deals on new and pre-owned TVs, game consoles, cameras, plus so much more. With 2 convenient locations along Noland Road in Independence. Stop by and visit us today.
That's it. Resell Electronics, our new sponsor here at the Chiefs Blitz and Bowtie Sports Podcast. Give them a call today at 816-886-7285. You've got anything you want, cell phone, tablet, laptop, game consoles, TVs, whatever it is, anything electronic, you're buying, selling, trading, whatever it might be. They are the one-stop shop, 2 locations in Independence, Missouri. Give them a call today at 816-886-7285.
Resell.
Oh, that's a little nugget. Y'all just put in resale, huh? Y'all just
we like to flip the switch here every once in a while.
Lou with the ad libs, man. Lou come through with the ad libs, man.
Hey, it was a nice weekend. I don't know, I missed you guys. You know what I mean? It was a long time during the show.
Cute.
You know, it wasn't no football.
Ain't you just a sweet
cookie?
long 40.
No, that just means your honeydew list was bigger than mine.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I had to cook. I had to do everything.
Ain't Bo just dipped with milk today? Ain't just a cookie, just like you just dipped with milk.
One thing is also, I learned over the weekend. I've been knowing somebody for like almost, since their kids were small. You know what I mean? And their kids was baby. That they are a big Bengals fan. Some out of nowhere.
Surprise, guys! See, cast out the bag. It's a lot of stuff you don't know.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Let me explain.
A long time.
So let me explain.
A long time ago.
I like Carson Palmer. I like Chad Johnson and Henry and Hughes Mazada. Like I've been a big fan of them.
Before all that, how you doing today, Lou? How you doing today?
Doing well. Man. It's been a full, I don't know how many hours since the roast. We're still here. I long feared that was going to be our last episode, but It went fairly well, I thought. Well attended. I got some good comments from the outside. Most guys, I don't know, failed the assignment.
Failed to show up. There are at least a dozen that
just
didn't.
couldn't say a bad thing about our guy Nick Athan. So
even Emily goes, you don't understand the concept of a roast. How am I going to say something nice to you? But what bad stuff am I going to say?
Man, listen, we should have flame broiled Nick's ass. It was supposed to be flame broiled, man. I said we're cooking them slow. We marinating real slow.
That's all right. We're saving the best roast for you, buddy.
So damn right, you goddamn right.
The Andre roast will be the best.
Yeah, man. I was like, where's the thrill?
The Kevin Hart of the show, evidently, was away. And whatever you sent in was kind of tame too. I was expecting a little bit more there, Coach.
Man, I put what I could put in when I was in the elevator. Now I couldn't really get busy in the elevator, but
that's what you're doing in the elevator.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to work it before you get to it. Listen, so now, but back to my explanation about the Bengals.
Yeah, there we go. Like I said, all right, you're entitled. They won against a big time football team last night. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did y'all see how Joe Burrow ran that 42 yards? I mean, he sprinted. Nobody knew how fast he was. Right?
I didn't know Kevin was gangster, man. I didn't know Kevin was gangster.
Hey, Kevin's not the bag.
Kevin.
But honestly, though,
that was Steve Bono all over again. There was nobody. There's like the Giants all all fell out. Everybody just fell down.
Hey, Freeway, you be okay, Freeway. Get your hand off your head. You be all right, sir. Just no Burrow. We coming slowly but surely. The Bengals is coming slowly but surely. But
they got no chance.
Oh, let's go ahead and cut that one. He said the Bengals are coming slowly.
They got no chance. None whatsoever.
But I ain't gonna lie though, hey, the Giants offense, the Giants defensive line is so underrated though.
Shout out to Ruben again for
Hey Ruben, number one in the box.
There's no one in the box.
Dexter Lawrence and Bonds, man, Burns was looking good out there. I said, God,
that was a good trade. That was a good trade by the Giants to get him away from the Panthers.
Yeah,
but that's worked out well.
Yeah, guys, but cats out the bag. I am a Bengals fan. I've been a Bengals fan since I was in high school, man. So
that's
I like the king of the Bengals and the Cardinals, man. Hey, it's a triple threat. Hey,
I've been knowing this man for years. I mean, decades. All I hear is Larry Fitzgerald. Cardinals,
the best receiver in the game. The best receiver in the game.
I never heard anything.
You ain't supposed to know everything, sir.
Oh, Bengals, come on, man.
Know everything, sir.
I bet it is.
Back to the show. All
right, some breaking news. Harrison Buckner is announced his wife Isabel just gave birth to their third child. Mazel tov, congratulations. Harrison Buckner, you're top shelf, man. Just appreciate all that you do, and thank God you're kicking footballs on our team.
Yeah.
And then back to the show, Edward. You got it, buddy. Yes, he is delusional, but that's okay.
It's all right. That's all right. I'm just speaking my truth.
Yeah. Living in mediocrity. Yeah, that's cool.
Living in mediocrity.
I let that one slide, Lou.
But Lou, there's a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. What do you have for the 6-pack today?
The 6-pack is on fire again. We've got that plain pizza, beautiful. The nondescript beer, a couple of drinks there. We can't wait to get into it. So here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Normally first one is always a college thing, and there's a very unique player right now that plays for Penn State. There he is, right there on your screen, by the name of Tyler Warren.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching him for most of the season, and he's kind of Penn State's version of Taysom Hill. I mean, he plays H-back, he plays fullback, he plays tight end. He comes in and plays wildcat formation quarterback. And against USC, he had 17 receptions for over 200 yards, scored a touchdown. So here's a kid that I guess he was a high school quarterback and do just about everything. And here we go. I mean, he's just a very unique player. We'll see kind of how he's viewed in the draft because he does so many different things that it might even hurt him in the draft. Mm-hmm. But in terms of a tight end, great skills, great athleticism. Tyler Warren, check him out over next time you see Penn State play. All right, moving on to the NFL.
Radar.
Moving on to the NFL, in England, I mentioned that, I was looking for the Bears to put up a really good performance, one of the best bets over the weekend, and Caleb did not disappoint. He seems to be getting better and more comfortable every week. Say what you will about the competition, but he just looks like he's now in command of that offense. Not a lot of running around, only when he has to. Going through his reads, I mean, it looked really, really clean. And, for all the things that Shane Waldron has kind of put up with his kind of meh appearance with the Seattle Seahawks, he seems to have this group going in the right direction. And I don't know what the hell you say about Jacksonville. I don't know if Dougie Peterson comes back from London after next week.
Dougie Peterson.
I just feel bad for him. I have no answers. I don't know what the hell's going on with that team. They've got some talent, but they just can't seem to get out of their own way.
Well, Keenan Allen's playing great too. That helps a lot.
Healthy.
Well, him coming back for Chicago.
He's always underrated.
That's the key to the surgeons.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Cole Kmet, those two guys over the middle. It's kind of like having Rasheed and and Travis for Patrick. I mean, that's just next level stuff, and you can't go wrong throwing the ball towards either of those two guys.
Yep.
All right, number 3 had a big game in the Beltway, Baltimore and Washington. You've got Lamar versus Jaden Daniels, similar type players. I mean, Jaden has kind of come out like a ball of fire. The Ravens can't quite figure them out, the first couple of weeks. I mean, the game against the Raiders still, I have no explanation for that. So that's kind of concerning. But over the last few games, they've kind of got it rolling. And the overarching thing actually of the whole weekend is that you're starting to see teams now not necessarily separate, but figuring out who they are and how they're going to play. And with Baltimore now leaning into Derrick Henry, that's the difference right there. That was the difference yesterday, because Lamar was over 300 yards. Jaden's had a good game. He just doesn't quite have the weaponry, I think, at this point. So I'm not down on the Commanders. I think they're actually going to be better as the season goes on, and that division is there for the taking.
Yeah, they were missing one of their running backs too, correct?
Robinson. Yeah, Brian Robinson Jr. was out, and they don't have a lot of weaponry to begin with. I mean, basically, it's Terry McLaurin, and you sprinkle in obviously a very old Zach Ertz, but he's still doing all right. The other receiver, they traded Jahan Dotson, which was a weird move. I don't know there must have been something personal with that one, because they really don't have a bunch of other receivers to go to outside of Terry McLaurin. But, in terms of that game, Henry was the difference. And right now, if they lean into this offense, Baltimore is going to be there at the end for sure.
Yeah, I think what was impressive about, of the game that I saw was, I just thought defensively, they only gave up 20 points, 23 points, something like that.
23, yeah.
And I thought, the Commanders left a few plays on the field with some potential opportunities to score. No question about it. But I thought the defense played really good, and they've gone through the meat of their schedule. Bills, Cowboys, Bengals, and now
Chiefs.
The Commanders. This is the 4th toughest game stretch that they have. Granted, I think 3 of these we're at home. So, the schedule doesn't get very difficult for them down the road. Maybe third quarter it tightens up a little bit, but they got a chance to just keep winning football games with this formula.
Yeah, watching Philadelphia, I mean, they got the receivers back. They scored some points, but I mean, again, it's the Browns, and it was kind of a struggle.
Yeah,
if you would. I mean, the Browns had some the big block field goal that got ran back for a touchdown, but it's not like Philadelphia has kind of figured this thing out. It still looks like Hence's cube. And then Dallas, we'll get to them later, but and the Giants, come on. So Washington, I mean, they should be in prime position to win that division.
Honestly, the Giants defensive line look good, man. I honestly like in that division right now. I feel like the best defense right now. The best defense.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good last night.
The Giants line is ridiculous, man. So if Daniel Jones can put it together, if they can put it together, I can see the Giants recompeting for that division.
And so, what did you think of Jayden yesterday?
I think he was a little bit
Daniel Jones. My bad. Daniel Jones. My bad.
I think he was a little confused a little bit yesterday, but I don't put it on like some of the when he was kept getting fourth with third and long. But other than that, man, I put it on the defense, man. The defense couldn't just stop the run, and if they could have stopped the run, I think Washington could have walked away with that game. They could have won that game.
Yeah, Henry was definitely the difference there, but Jayden, I thought he looked as good as anybody on the field that day. I mean, the 2 touchdowns to McLaurin were just perfectly thrown past. I mean, they couldn't have been thrown any better by anyone
for a rookie
in any era. I mean, those were professional football throw. I mean, just perfect. So I liked what I saw out of both of those guys. So speaking of teams, they're kind of catching their stride offensively and figuring things out and who they are. Looking at that Atlanta offense. So again, it is against the Panthers, but they're throwing a two-headed monster at you coming from the backfield. I thought Bijan was just going to have like this Christian McCaffrey type season, but they keep, and he's one of my fantasy guys, so it just pisses me off every time they put Algier in there. But Algier went for over 100. Bijan had 95 and a couple of touchdowns. Kirk seems to be figuring out the receivers. Pitts, again, is starting to at least catch a few balls again. It's not like
he's so talented man.
He's not in witness protection anymore. So, it's interesting to see them kind of catching their stride. But it really caught my eye is that two-headed monster that they can just kind of bludgeon you with those two guys. And again, the other theme here as well is every time I'm talking about these games, it's usually the key is the running game. And after last week,
play the Chiefs,
we had the nine 300-yard passers. You look at all the teams that won, it was like they just bludgeoned the other team running the ball. So that was interesting to see. And speaking of bludgeoning, oh my God, number 5 here. Detroit, say what you will about the Cowboys, but Detroit looks like just a machine. Had a little stumble in the first few weeks, but other than that, I mean, Goff is damn near perfect throwing the ball. We talked about it coming into the season where he only has, I think, 2 outdoor games the entire year. Yeah, which that's very fortunate for him is huge because of just, how clean he throws the ball. It doesn't, it's a lack of weather. Any little thing that can throw him off usually does. Well, he's playing in perfect conditions. This is what you're going to get. And it almost seemed like at a certain point during that game, did you get the sense where Detroit was just playing with them?
I did.
Toying? Breaking out. They've got offensive linemen splitting out wide. They've got Penei Sewell coming on the back end of a hook and lateral. It's the double. They had run those plays several times. That one, the double revert back, the flea flicker back to Goff, and then Laporta down the sideline. They've run that like 3 times in the last 2 years, and no one's covered it yet. So that just, to me, they just seem to be like on a mission. And
let me ask you this, Lou. Detroit, do you feel like Detroit is the real deal?
I thought they were the real deal last year. I think they're still the real deal right now, but it could have been what I guess back to my high school days. This is what's known as a Pyrrhic victory, right? They win the game huge, but ultimately they may have lost. Well, they did lose. They lost their best defensive player, arguably their best player, and that makes a huge difference because he's pretty much the sack guy for them.
Yeah, he's unreplaceable. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson had surgery.
Potential defensive player of the year.
Yeah, not a chance.
That was just horrible.
That's going to be tough for them. They're going to have, if the offense keeps playing the way they do and going up and beating bad teams. Let's be honest, the Cowboys stink. They're poorly owned. They're poorly managed. They're poorly coached. They're overpaying the wrong guys. It's a mess.
Jerry Jones don't care about none of that. Jerry Jones don't care about none of that.
So top heavy. The guys that they've paid. Micah's hasn't played in like three weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you throw him out there that's going to be any different. They're not getting lined
if I'm
up
him
properly.
Until they pay me, I ain't coming back in the game.
That's a mess. And could you imagine being Jerry Jones? Yesterday, I guess, was his birthday, and just being there.
They're as dysfunctional as the Cleveland Browns.
And there was a tweet going around yesterday. I can't remember who put it out, but like the last 6 home games in the first half, just how far behind they are. And it was like 6 games in a row. I mean, we saw it this year against the Saints, this game, back in the playoffs against Green Bay. I mean, it's just, and it's not just they're losing, they're just getting crushed, embarrassed.
Yeah, so I say looking at the going back to the Lions, go back to the Lions, man. I'm looking at that game. I think it's just who they played, man. And that's why you can see them toying with them. You know what I mean? The Cowboys spent all that money on the offense, and you know what I mean. That's what it shows. You know what I mean? It shows you put all that money in Prescott, with everybody saying that he's still sleeping his sleep number bed right about now. You know what I mean? Because he can't play quarterback. Then you got C.J. Lamb. Then they got a bad offensive line. It just can't they can't get it together. Then that the defense is not that put together very well. So
yeah,
you put all that money in on one side of the ball. This is what you're gonna get.
You got key injuries though. Michael Parsons down. Dexter Lawrence is messed up. The running game ain't there, right? CD Lamb. That's what CD Lamb and Dak Prescott. They're not seeing eye to eye. So
it's a pretty thin roster. Like I said, most of their money.
We don't give excuses in the NFL.
Like 2 or 3 guys, right? So it's
no excuses.
I don't know that they really have the ability with this crew to turn it around. I don't think it's good. It's going to get worse, I think, before it gets better. So then, this begs the question, because Jerry, he stuck with Jason Garrett a long time because he really liked him. And he really seems to have this soft spot for Mike McCarthy. And I would never advocate somebody getting fired. It'd just be interesting to see how long this goes on.
Well, Jerry's not going to do anything. Jerry's not going to do anything in mid-season. There's nothing. And he's not going to catch the Lions. I mean, the Lions are in the midst of 4 out of 5 on the road. Dallas, Minnesota, Green Bay, and Houston, with Tennessee sandwiched in between. So we're going to learn a lot about this football team. After that, they play the Bears twice at the end of the season. They got to go to San Francisco. So
sleep on the Bears.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on the Bears just because, youth, you never know with youth. And
their defense playing good too.
The Cowboys are cooked. Bill Belichick will be a Cowboys or Giants head coach when it's all said and done. So we'll just have to see how that plays
out. Or Jets. Why he'll be a Jets coach?
No, I don't think he'll go. I don't think he'll go to the Jets.
He will never go to the Jets.
Yeah, he will never go back to the Jets. Even the Giants is a stretch because he hates New York.
It's personal.
That documentary, it's very personal with the Jets. Very personal.
Personally, I think he's crazy to come back. Enjoy your young girlfriend and all the money you're making just doing TV appearances.
He can do both. He can do both.
Yeah, well,
inside the NFL,
not the way he works.
One of my favorite shows.
She probably doesn't need a ton. She probably doesn't need a ton of time with him.
You just now figuring that out.
As long as she's got the black card, we're good.
Hey. Keep you younger. Hey, keep you younger.
Yeah. So with that said, man, that was 6 pack.
That all 6?
That was the 6 from this weekend.
Gluten-free pizza with no
Can we get some pepperoni on that pie?
I don't know.
Maybe maybe we get the Chiefs Blitz logo on the bottles.
One little request.
I don't know what, man.
hey, Home Alone said he liked cheese pizza. That's what we got.
Hey, and he didn't finish it either.
Ruben says it right, man. Not America's team. That's exactly.
When did that become America's team? When did that occur? When
self-anointed, man, self-anointed
in the 70s?
Was it CBS? I think it was old Pat Summerall and
in the 70s.
We are an American team. I
think it was more
his name Brokaw. No.
Wow.
But looking.
No, I think it was an NFL films thing. They actually did like a short film. That was America's team.
Yeah.
And then the old Irving Stadium, the line was, why is there a hole at the top of this dome? And the line was so God could watch his team play. So
good one. Why don't they call it God's team?
What's that?
Why didn't they call it
No,
God's
it was
team?
just a
America's
joke, you know. That's why there was a
They're
whole.
gonna say why they call it God's team.
But I think it was, you know, Roger Staubach was like this, you know, Heisman winner, naval ensign or whatever office, you know, whatever rank he held in the Navy, and he was like the all-American dude, and
he was the man.
Yeah, but looking at like going back to the six pack, looking at Atlanta, Baltimore, you know, they running game, everybody looking good since they didn't have played the Chiefs, but they running backs look like when they played the Chiefs. Derrick Henry was a no-show.
Look like what, sir? Look like what, sir?
They look like crap when they're playing. They can't. Nobody seems to be able to run the ball against the Chiefs, and McCaffrey's not playing this weekend. So
2-point-some yards of carry. I get that. You're right.
Man, get out of here. But let's get right
against the finesse Chiefs, right, Coach?
Yeah,
non-physical Chiefs.
Non-physical Chiefs, man.
I honestly don't know what game you watch. You're watching a whole different sport.
Listen, the Chiefs O-line, D-line is very physical. Very physical.
Oh,
very
okay.
physical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Damn, Lou, I'm gonna give a little seasoning on it. I'm gonna give a little love.
You've come around.
Something like that.
Okay. Let's get into our sponsors before we get into the main set.
All right, let's do it. All right, first up, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking for someone who can help you find or buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's several ways you can reach Eric. You can click on his logo there on our website. It goes right to his information page with a bunch of listings. You can call him at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esellskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
And if you're looking for a custom insurance quote, open enrollment begins November 1st, lasts until December 15th. So if you have an ACA plan, government plan, you have a private plan, you're just looking for better options and access to a nationwide PPO network, let my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan, navigate those waters for you and find the best solution for you and or your family. Give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
And our new sponsor, Resell. Hit it.
Buy a cell phone at Resell Electronics and save up to 25%. Our phones are pre-owned and in great condition. We carry top brands like iPhones and Samsung. Sell us your old phone and we'll offer you cash on the spot. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. If you're looking to resell any of your electronics, buy, sell, trade, whatever it might be, call them at 816-886-7285. They got 2 locations on Nolan Road, really close to Arrowhead. So, hey, if you're looking for that special gift, Christmas is coming up. They have an amazing selection. Give them a call today at 816-886-7285.
Resell.
Love it. Appreciate the guys there.
They put a lot of emphasis on that.
Resell. Love it.
All right. So, you know, I mean, the Chiefs had the most underrated cornerback duo in the
It's go time. Main segment. Here we go.
Are you surprised by how fast Jay Watt has become the clear-cut cornerback number 2? Maybe. No, last show where we had on BTSU, we had Player Watch, and we got, you know, Jaylen Watson on there. He's looking at PPF stats, whatever.
Focus. Yeah,
he's the top 10 cornerback in the league right by now. You know what I mean? Right now, he's number 10 in the league right now. You know, with stats wise, the kid is playing ball out. You know, ball right now. And hey, Matt think he's pretty good because I play Madden all the time, and the man had an 89 speed, and now he got a 93 speed out of nowhere. I don't know how.
Know what that means?
They watch film. They watch film too at Madden, right? Those are fluid.
I believe so.
So really, it's live and it changes. Is that how it works?
Yeah, they watch the games, really? And they're very critical of those numbers, their ratings. As far as I know, I don't play the game, but one of the shows had done like this big feature on how do they do this, and there's actually guys they're watching film, they're figuring out who's what.
So they update every week.
Try to make it as real as possible. Yep. So they like Jay Watt too. Hey, before the season started, we knew it was, it was basically 35 or 2. 35 showed that he was supposed to be the guy. Every chance that he had, he was coming along slowly. And I think it was still more injury, a little bit of rust, whatever it was. But we knew he was good. I mean, we've seen him play. He's made big plays in big games, playoff games, championship games, whatever. So surprised? No, I guess. I just, we knew who he was. This is who we thought he was.
Right.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I get credit where credit is due. Yeah, he's good. No, he's been locking his side down.
I think the trust that they have in the defense, the trust they've given him, he's gotten better every single year. Obviously, he had a big splash into the NFL, with his play against the Chargers a couple of years ago. His postseason work, it was as good as Snead, if not better. The Chiefs took a big risk, in making the trade. But I think the combination of him and McDuffie is more versatile, in my opinion. And I think this allows McDuffie to be kind of that player we always thought he was going to be. He can blitz, he can support the run. They know that they got Watson out there who can help, and take on that number one receiver if need be. I just think his maturation has been key to the Chiefs secondary being strong this year. And also I think that helps the front seven and they're shutting down the run. And that's a good combination when you got two solid corners that can get the job done and they can alternate what each of them do best.
Yeah. So it's then about 6'2", 200 and I think 216 pounds. Maybe I'm looked at it wrong, but
he looks $195 soaking wet to me.
Yeah.
trying to add on size to him. I think he'll $205, 6'2".
He seems kind of lean.
Pure physicality. Yeah, that's both times. Pure physicality, 6'2", 230.
He more of, if you look at him, more of a Richard Sherman. You know what I mean? For me, when I look at him play, like like that kind of
Richard's a thicker, I think, just build wise.
Richard's got some safety in him too, and I think that's why he was such a good corner.
But again, is Watson more compatible player for Duffy than Snead? What you had to say about that, Coach Dre?
Is he more a complementary player for Duffy than Snead? I think Snead was just a Titan, man. Snead embodied physicality, and
he is a Titan right now.
He is a Titan. He's been stinking it up.
You see how crazy that sound, though? I was right. He's a Titan, man. But honestly, I think Snead was different. Snead was different, man. Snead was a bully. That dude was a pure bully, man. And like I said, he's bullying now. But I think, as far as him complimenting him better than Snead, no, I say no. I think Snead was like the answer. It was like the 1 and 2, man. But like I said, Watson is good, but he's no Snead though.
I think that's kind of a tough one to gauge because Trent was playing more inside when LJ, was covering the number one, and you saw, how good he was at that all pro level in the, playing in the slot, playing the nickel. So now he moves to the outside and they're both kind of playing outside. And it seems like Connor's kind of taken over that nickel role where he's doing more of this blitzing and so forth. So it's a little bit different. So in terms of a compliment, since they're both playing outside, then maybe yes, but again, it's kind of a cloudy deal there. I don't know where we're getting at with the question or what's happening there, but in terms of them playing in tandem, they're very, very good.
Yeah,
because they're both playing on the outside.
Yeah, and I think this was the big question after they signed Tranquil and they signed Chris Jones. Would they have any money for L'Jarius Snead? And the answer was no. They made him a really good offer, pretty similar to what he got with the Titans. But the Chiefs were concerned about, the number of years they were willing to give him because of the knee. He didn't practice again much, in the offseason and training camp. He has not looked good in a Titans uniform. He's gotten burned pretty regularly right now. And makes this trade all the better for the Chiefs. Veach got rid of a player that maybe has played his best football in a Chiefs uniform and got a 3rd-round pick out of it, which they'll probably end up using if they want to get a top shelf wide receiver in a trade before the deadline. But I think this is what Steve Spagnuolo was hoping for and Dave Merritt was hoping for, that they could find two guys on the outside that could be virtually the same player, with the exception of what McDuffie does. Like I said, moving into the slot or being a blitzer. Watson has blitzed a few times, but not a whole lot. That's not his strength. But he's a good cover corner, and that's allowed this defense to stay at the level they were a year ago. They haven't really lost anything with Watson's insertion into the Snead role.
Hey, honestly, real quick too, to piggyback off that, and I give it to Watson. Some Snead didn't, like Snead doing that Watson don't do, is penalties, man. You don't hear a lot of flags being thrown on Watson, and that's the only Achilles heel for Snead. He was too physical to where they sometimes put the Chiefs in the hole.
I think he's only had one, right, against the Ravens in the opening weekend.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes you go to a different team, and it always seems like this guy's got all this talent. He's a wonderful player, whatever. And I'm not saying necessarily scheme specific, but just the way they're utilized and so forth. It doesn't always translate to the next team.
No, it doesn't.
And I think just the way, Spags was able to relate to him and the positions that they would put him in, it really elevated everything that he did. Now, I'm not saying that he can't do the same thing in Tennessee, but again, you're just playing a little bit different.
Right.
He is, another year older.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit slowed down, like Nick was saying about his knees. But just this group in general is very versatile. They drafted all these guys because of their versatility and how they fit the scheme. So some of these guys that, maybe at the end of their contract, like a Shamari Connor or whatever, maybe they're not as effective if they go to a different team, just because of now that it's a totally different operation, and maybe they don't use them the same way. And you've seen this around the league. It's not just these guys with the Chiefs.
Definitely.
Plenty of guys that are really good with the Ravens that go somewhere else, and it's like, what the hell happened? Or they're really good with Pittsburgh, and then they go somewhere else, and it's like, what? This isn't what we traded for. So.
But speaking of that, man, looking at the cornerback duo, the guys, ain't giving up that much yard. If you look at the cornerback duos in the league right now, everybody thought Sauce Gardner was going to be, the Jets and this and that. You got the Broncos duo, but this Jaylen Watson and McDuffie duo is kind of like probably the best. Because Connie probably is the best because they shut down. They leaving everybody receivers is not getting off against them. They hold Christian Olave to 12 with 12 to 10 yards. Everybody that came against them so far this season, not even thinking about that, always since the Super Bowl era. They've been shutting down guys, with Snead and McDuffie. Now it transferred over to Watson too. So is it Spags got something with these young corners, and he's picking them on. He's putting them in there. He's not getting no first rounders, or like McDuffie was a first rounder. But other than that, the guys out here playing, I think they underrated, but I think they got to be the best two to do it right now. So
that's what you think. That's what you think. You the head blazer.
So what do you think?
I got Patrick Surtain and Riley Moss.
Man, get out of here.
Why not? He ain't balling.
They ain't play nobody.
Which question are we answering right now? Because I'm confused.
Are they the best? Are they the best underrated cornerback duo in the NFL?
Are they the most underrated? So you're saying Patrick Surtain's not underrated in anybody's book, in any planet or universe. Right. So I would say perhaps they are, because you asked most average fans, they have no idea who the hell Jaylen Watson is.
Yep.
Right.
So they're going to say, if somebody says, name defensive back for the Chiefs, you're going to hear Trent McDuffie, and then it's going to be maybe a lot of silence. Maybe some people remember like Justin Reed, right?
Yeah.
They don't know how good Shamari Connor is. They don't know how good Jaylen Watson is, and Brian Cook. You've got a lot of good players, and maybe it's our bias, or it's almost like they're part of our family. Maybe we overdo it, but I truly believe this is, again, the back end is top notch. You throw in all five guys, these are the best in the league.
Well, I'm gonna say this
as a collective.
Okay, we know who McDuffie. We know who McDuffie. Everybody know who McDuffie is, right? Because he's been showing this. So just like Patrick Surtain,
right?
We know who these guys
typically
are.
Typically, first round. We didn't expect
we expect for a Caucasian guy to play outstanding at corner. We know who Riley Moss was.
You said don't put we. You. Nobody else.
I'm just who did anybody know? Did any of y'all know about Riley Moss?
Yeah, for Iowa, he played good, man. He's a baller.
I taught you about. I want to show you about Riley Moss,
right? Because now really take it.
That's you.
All right,
I know I told you, but you was like Riley Moss. So yeah, check out Riley Moss.
Take it another level deeper, okay? You guys are talking about him, and again, this isn't meant to be racist, but he's a white cornerback. You don't see a whole lot of that.
You don't.
Who was another high draft pick? Cooper DeJean. Where did he go?
Yeah.
Iowa. So you had two guys on the same college team, and here they are as relatively high draft picks in the NFL. But I hear what you're saying. I just don't know how good they are. The guys in Denver.
Yeah, they haven't played.
We know Surtain is arguably the best, if not the best.
He's the best corner.
We don't know how good Riley Moss is. Now, 4 or 5 games in, okay, it looks good. Let's see how it plays out. So it's hard to kind of say which one's most underrated. I just say because Watson was a 7th round pick, and people outside, unless you were a huge Pac-12 fan and knew about, the Cougars and playing on the Palouse or whatever at 10:30 Eastern, right? That you don't even know who he is. So maybe for that reason, they're the most underrated.
Yeah. And for the Cougars, he didn't give up no touchdown, right? When he came out of college, I don't think he did, or
he had some pretty amazing numbers against him. But again, everybody, it's Washington State. Who are they playing? Whatever.
That's what I'm saying. He cool.
I don't know. The Pac-12 teams that are in the Big 12 certainly look pretty good to me. Listen, I kind of agree with Lou. I think they are underrated as a Batman and Robin duo. I think that. You look at the skill sets, you look what they're able to do. They really work well off each other. They kind of know what the other guy's doing, so they can focus on their job at hand. And that's a testament to Dave Merritt. He's one of the best secondary coaches in the National Football League.
I agree.
Turned down a chance to become the defensive coordinator with the 49ers because that was not a place he really wanted to go. And so chances are next year he'll probably be a DC somewhere. And if Spags gets any interest at all, and I've kind of heard the Jacksonville Jaguars might be a place where he might go as a potential head coach. I would think Merritt would come in and be his defensive coordinator. So, I think they've just done it. The Chiefs and Brett Veach in particular. Let's put the credit where it is. He has done an incredible job of rebuilding that safety and that cornerback position. He's drafted most of these guys except for Justin Reed is a free agent. Chamari, Connor has looked incredible. He's taken such a huge leap in his game, but it all starts because McDuffie and Watson are playing at such a high level that everything else falls in line, with, I think, arguably one of the best overall secondaries, in the National Football League.
Yeah. So as you look into that, do you see the Chiefs when it's all said and done? They don't like to pay their corners. That's a knock on Brett Veach right now. Do you see them paying McDuffie?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Since they found guys that's in the draft like Watson.
I hear what you're saying. I think
they paid McDuffie. Yeah,
I think he's going to be the exception because he was a first round pick. He is at an elite level, like a top 2 or 3 player. If he's not injured, I think that's the only reason that Snead's not on the team anymore. Is that just because of the injury level and the fact that maybe he's a little bit older? But this is Trent coming on your first contract, going into a second contract. Do they break the bank? I don't know. If he wants to stick around and they make him a fair deal, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see him as a money grabber, but he's going to want to get paid after this year.
Oh, yeah, top 3 in the league.
And I think it comes down to, do you sign him? Do you sign Karlaftis? Karlaftis has kind of taken a step back this year, but McDuffie is just getting better and better and better.
Yes, he is.
And I think you do whatever you have to do. I make the exception. I mean, Kelsey's going to be off the books. If not this year, at the end of this year, certainly the end of next year. Some of that money is going to be used for the offensive line. Trey Smith is going to be re-signed soon. Nick Bolton's is, I'd say 50-50 at this point. But I think, this is a rare exception. This is a guy you pay. This is a guy you keep on your roster for 10 years if you can, because he's going to give it back. He's special. The fact that they traded with got in front of the Bills because that was their number one target was McDuffie. At that point, in the draft.
The Bills been messing up. God damn.
Yeah, and I just think that I think Veach. This was kind of the signature piece for the defensive secondary that kind of made everything else work. And his plan of what he drafted the years before, and the concept of the way they play in the secondary right now. This is the guy that was the linchpin. So I think they're going to reward him with a big contract.
I say so too, because you see what he did too. Everybody said, "Oh, Chase just came on," but when he had to go to McDuffie had that boy crying, ready to fight his own teammates, and then back down. Still out there and held that guy to less yards that he probably ever played. McDuffie is him, and McDuffie is probably the best corner that's in the league right now.
How much should they pay him?
How much would they pay him? I'll give him the bag.
Well, whatever
I give him the average of the top five.
Whatever the top of the market is, he's probably going to. He will have earned it.
He definitely earned it. Earned it.
And you look at, the way teams are built. Who's getting paid? Corners, edge rusher, left tackle, quarterback. Now, some teams throw wide receiver in there. This place doesn't happen to be one of them yet. We'll see when Rashee Rice comes up. But definitely Trent will be one of the top 3 paid corners in the league.
I'm gonna say this, man. From the man playing from slot, dominating the slot last year, now he's playing more of the outside. He is their number 1 corner now, and he's playing at a higher level too. You gotta pay that man.
I want to answer. Spag's extension was for 3 years after this year, so. He hopes to stay as long as Andy stays, and I think Andy's going to stay till his contract extension is over in 2029. So I think his goes until 2027 or
2029.
But if you look at it, like back on McDuffie, if you look at it, the Spaz got these corners playing good. Ever since he's coached the Giants, he always had like a double set of corners. That play good as well too. So, man, it could have been. I know Lou said the scheme earlier. Could it be the scheme or is it the player? Because hey, think about it.
Is it
they got Ward that came over. He was with the 49ers. He came up under the same scheme. Yeah. Now he was an undrafted cornerback, and he turns it around to be now he's look at the top 10 corner in the league right about now. But McDuffie and Jaylen Watson.
If you're talking about corner, most any corner can go to different schemes and play well. The reason I brought that up was about LJ was just the fact that how he moved him around and used him as a chess piece. So I wouldn't say necessarily it's scheme. I think it speaks to the player's talent, but more importantly, and I think Nick had on it with Dave Merritt, is player development. You can't put a price tag on that because you can draft well, but if you don't have a sense of developing the player and helping them improve, they'll always be the same guy. There's only so much talent that talent is going to take you.
Right.
What elevates is like some of these guys that go in like in the 7th round, the 6th round, whatever. What do you do in the off season? What do you do during training camp? What are you doing to develop those guys?
Absolutely.
Even during the season, the practice squad players, what do you have them doing during the year? Skills and all these other things. And the players have to buy in. So it's just the entire culture kind of builds off itself. So just a long-winded response to that, hence, is that I think that it helps being with these guys, but I don't necessarily think, hey, it's just the scheme and hey, they're just in the right place because that's the way they all play. I think I'm more nuanced than that.
Speaking of scheme and development, we have an update on Scott Moore. What do you have about us?
You're gonna put me on the spot here.
What you
straight from the guy doing the windshields at Union Station. This just in.
Thrown under the bus for the second consecutive show. My goodness.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. No, here's what I believe. This is what I
wide receiver. What's going on, Nick?
I think before the show, I contacted one of my sources and just said, hey, are the Chiefs still active pursuing a wide receiver? And they said yes. Couple of names, Christian Kirk with the Jaguars is a name to keep an eye on, which I would find kind of interesting in Kansas City. Of course, they'd have to make it Amari Cooper. I think those are the guys, but I believe, and I asked the question, would Sky Moore be involved in any one of these trades just to swap a roster spot out in case the Chiefs get ultra aggressive and maybe have to bring up one of their other wide receivers. So I think the Chiefs will make a trade before the deadline to add a receiver. I heard Demarcus Robinson is a possibility. I'm not sure that's the right move to make, but here's the key. Rashee Rice's injury is a 10 to 12 month rehab. So that puts us best case scenario. Let's say it's 10 months.
Not even speaking of the suspension either.
Yeah, there we go. And so that puts us at, let's say the best case scenario is September. Let's split the difference. He's going to have at least a 4-game suspension. So he's not going to play with his football team probably until the end of October next year, at best case scenario. Unless the Chiefs put him on the active roster, being somewhat healthy, and he can start his sentence right away out of the gate while he's still working back. But that's probably not going to work out that way. So at the end of the day, whoever they pick up as a wide receiver, I think has to be somebody who they can count on next year as well.
Right.
Because, Juju's not under contract, though I think Juju might stay. We don't know what's going to happen with Hollywood Brown. I've heard he really wants to stay. He wants to come back next year to prove it wasn't a fluke, that he can play a healthy season. So these are all questions they have to answer. But this wide receiver, like with Tony, they thought Tony would be that guy, and it just didn't work out. So I'm thinking whoever they get is someone they can count on this year and next year. If not, I just don't see him making a move just to make the move. I think they'll play with the cards that they have.
And this is an update on Sky Moore?
Well, because I think Sky Moore is going to be involved in any trade.
Quite honestly, if you're a team taking that back, that's a throw in at best.
It is a throw in. I think he wants a fresh start. And
not
I think
going to be any basis for a trade, but I'm with you
there.
No,
it's not the baseline for the trade.
And we've talked about it for the last couple of weeks, actually. It seems like every show. If they do make a move, right? I mean, and if it's for this, it's going to be one of these guys that's under contract, and it's going to impact how they treat Hollywood Brown going into next year.
Yep. Because
if you do trade for a Cooper, he's been paid recently. Christian Kirk has been paid recently. Deontay Johnson, I don't know
he's a free agent at the end of the year.
He just signed a 1-year deal.
Yes.
With or no, that was a trade. They traded Dante.
Yeah, his contract is up at the year, and he's a free agent.
So somebody like that, actually, to me, is very intriguing because he's very productive with Pittsburgh. He's kind of in a weird situation right now. Watching that Atlanta game yesterday, I mean, he just looks like his body type, the whole thing. I mean, he's a thick dude, gets open. If he gets the right quarterback, he could be a player. So I could see something like that if they went that way.
Yeah.
It's just the bottom line is whatever happens with Sky is going to be it's going to be this much of the equation of if they do go ahead.
It will be part of the equation. In my opinion, it's going to be part of the equation. Yeah. I could be wrong because listen, at some point, Justin Ross or Nico Remigio is going to be up. I think it would be smart to elevate one of those two at some point, but a lot of it's going to, it's definitive. They know exactly what they're dealing with Rice.
Yep.
They are hopeful that Hollywood Brown can get back in December instead of January to give him maybe a couple of games at the end of the season and get him ready for the playoffs. And he won't be a starter, but he's a guy they can throw in for 15 or 20 or 25 plays, and that he can be a guy that will help Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. So, and I think the fact they work so much together in the offseason, I don't think it's going to be a problem of them kind of, finding some small portion of rhythm, when they get into the postseason. So, but this is a big decision by Brett Veach. That's why he gets the big bucks. he's hit and miss in the wide receiver room. He found a gem in Sky Moore. I think he would have found a gem in Hollywood Brown. He got one in Xavier Worthy. So, the next move has to make sense.
Yeah, and I'm sure being as aggressive as he is, he will overturn every rock possible just to see what's available and what it's going to take. The difficult part is that nobody really wants to help him out or help the team out. So the asking price might be just a little bit higher for the Chiefs than maybe any other team. But if he sees somebody that he likes, he's going to go after him. If he doesn't, and the deal's not right, it's okay. They just won't make the deal.
Yeah, and if Juju has 7-8 receptions for 100 yards a game, or
if
close,
he could do that. That's
if he does that, then it's kind of a moot point, and then it's just a matter of is Juju part of the plan next season? So again, big decision to make. They're not in a hurry. In regards to Christian Kirk, the Jaguars probably will not trade him till after their second overseas game, which is this Sunday. So I think that they'll make a move. There's no question. We're
still 3 or 4 weeks from the trade deadline. So
I think it's the day of the election or the day after the election.
As things get closer, you'll maybe some things
3 weeks.
Start to percolate a little bit more, and some teams just decide, hey, we're done. We might as well.
22 days. 22 days until the deadline. So it is election day at 3 o'clock Central Time.
Yep.
So
that's ironic. That's why I was Rashee Rice, if he's gonna be out for that long, and if I gotta go take somebody, and that's why I was rooting for those cornflake Bengals to lose yesterday, because I wanted to see the fish sticks to get fried, and I wanted to see T. Higgins find his way to the Chiefs.
They're never going to trade him to Kansas City.
I'm just saying. But other than that, man, I know people saying Darius Slayton, this piece and that people. But again, it's going to be Andy Reid. I know a lot of people have this knock on Scott Moore. I just don't, man. Just let they're
going to give him every chance in the next 3 weeks. He's going to be awarded every luxury and every opportunity.
So I'm listening to everything y'all saying about Scott Moore, and I showed both video of Scott Moore getting busy with the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he just mentally, he just got to get it there. I got faith in Scott Moore. I really do. I got faith in Scott Moore.
He's had some good moments, and he can have good moments in the future.
He can produce, man.
They're not going to give up on it, but the next 3 weeks are vital to his long-term tenure in Kansas City, in my opinion.
I'm rooting for him.
He doesn't get many opportunities, but it seems like when he does, it just doesn't quite go right.
It's one guy.
Ruben he's going to get as many chances as Andy's willing to give him. It's just that simple.
Yeah. It's one person should get opportunities. That's me. Bet Breach, I know you had problems with the wide receiver room. I know you had problems drafting a wide receiver, as they say, but you drafted Rashee Rice. But hey, when I was on my couch in my man cave, I said, "Hey, don't draft
man cave.
don't draft the Cole Harvin. Draft DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf could be the Chief." I said, "No, don't draft Scott Moore. Draft George Pickens. George Pickens could be the Chief."
Pickens went in the first. Pickens went in the first round.
No,
I think they drafted
second round.
They drafted, but at the top of the second round, because they took Karlaftis they took George at the.
No, I think he was afterwards. Here, let's look it up. Keep talking.
George at the end of the first round that year, didn't they?
Yeah, and George and Scott Moore went before George Pickens. Yeah, he did.
Hold on.
Let's see here. But again, man, I'm just saying.
Did they move up to get it? Well, then they just didn't like him. Then, hence, I don't think.
Well, look at his Pickens' attitude. It's all about attitude too, man. It's all about attitude, man. So.
Everybody says, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I said, Jonathan.
Wait. DK Metcalf cussed out the offense coordinator. He told him what he feels. Man, that Chiefs ain't going for that shit. They ain't going for that.
Man. He may not have passed their physical, because a lot of teams took them off. He wasn't even on their board because of the neck injury.
The neck situation. Yep. Exactly.
But other than that, man, that was our topics for today, as Nick looked that up. Man, but again, I know a lot of people.
Sky Moore was pick 22, and Pickens was pick 20
in the second round.
Second round, yes.
Right, yeah, because the chance that where you thought they would have taken him Hence would have been at the end of the first, but they took George, right?
They took George and McDuffie. Yeah,
they took McDuffie they didn't first, take your and then
diva,
George.
Sir. They didn't want your diva.
That was those were, or one of the picks was one from they got from the Dolphins and the Tyreek trade.
Hey, you talk all about this diva, but that diva had what 1,300 yards. You know, Sky Moore
still a diva.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
The other one wears a pacifier.
The other one put up almost 1,000 some yards every season. Got
the other one cussed the offensive coordinator out. So you want that on the Kansas City Chiefs?
And Nico Hartman is what? What'd he get? I'm just saying.
He's a Super Bowl winning catch player. That's what he is.
Oh, well, ain't that something, guys? They're gonna throw it in. Well, he did catch the Super Bowl winning catch, and then forgot the game was over.
All right. That's all right. Hey, he's locked in. He's just the next play mentality. What do we do now?
He wasn't that locked in. He
just had to tell him we're celebrating now, McCall. Let's go.
Yeah.
Speaking of locked in, our sponsor is very locked in. So let's get Eric Haynes before we close out.
All right, my good friend Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Real Estate Group. If you're looking to buy or sell a house in the greater Kansas City metropolitan area, there's nobody I trust more than Eric Haynes. He did an amazing job making sure that my wife and I got the dream house that we did, and he walked us through the process, and it was a nightmare, but he got it done, and he never lost faith, and that's what you want in a real estate professional, and someone who always has your back. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785. You can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
And another proud sponsor is my incredible, amazing wife, Emily Athan. Open enrollment begins November 1st through December 15th, which means you're going to have to choose an ACA plan or a government option. If you want one of those, she can certainly help you out. But if you want a private option with access to a nationwide PPO for either yourself or your family, give her a call today at 913-215-9086.
Emily.
Nikki loves
I do. That's what I said almost 10 years ago.
That's what I said.
There you go. All right, next up, Real Tape.
Emily.
Get the best deals on new and used electronics at Resell Electronics. TVs, laptops, Apple Watches, cameras, cell phones, plus so much more. And if you're into gaming, we carry new gen as well as vintage consoles. Resell Electronics in Independence.
That's right. If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all of your electronic needs, hey, the holidays are coming up. Never too early to start getting a Christmas present nailed down. Give them a call at 816-886-7285. They will take care of every one of your consumer electronic needs.
Resell.
All right, check this out. Check this out, guys. DB said Chiefs need to go get Calvin Ridley. Why not Calvin Ridley?
I don't think they're going to take on that money.
Love the comment, Desmond. It's a horrible contract right now.
Yeah,
Calvin Ridley. That's a non-starter.
That's what Tony should be.
Write an article, Desmond. Send it in. I'll post it.
Matter of fact, I heard a little snippet from somebody over the weekend. They probably be bringing back Kadarius Toney, but hey, don't get mad if they get him off the practice squad.
Wouldn't shock me one bit.
Skillet had half a bottle of what's that stuff he drinks?
He had a six pack. He had a 4-gallon bar.
That baby was blitzed.
I think he brought that up.
Blitzed.
All right, guys.
Hell no, man.
So with that said, guys, we are out. We want to thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for tuning in.
The triumphant return of Chief Who on Wednesday.
Let's do it.
On Wednesday, guys. So with that said, we are out. See you guys Wednesday at 1:30.